Okay, I've got a question for you. What lights you up? Just take a moment to think about that. For me, it's in the big things, like being on this stage today. It's becoming an auntie. It's meeting the king. It's getting the keys to my first own place. But it's also in the small, everyday moments. It's my first cup of coffee in the morning. It's a song that comes on the radio. It's an unexpected compliment from a stranger. And I've always been driven to seek out more of what lights me up. Because what lights us up are the things that are exciting. They might be the slightly scary things, but they're the moments that give you the goosebumps on the back of your neck. And they're the moments that make us feel most alive. And if I think back to my childhood, there are a couple of occasions where I was really scared of the dark. I used to think that there were monsters underneath the bed. And yet, as soon as Mum or Dad would come in, they'd turn the light on, and suddenly, as if by magic, the monsters would just disappear. And like me, I'm sure you guys will know the power of light in the dark. And I think into adulthood, all grown up, ready to go, and yet there are still occasions where I'm scared of the dark. Except this time, it's not the monsters that are underneath the bed that are there. The monsters are showing up as fear, self-doubt, procrastination. A different kind of monster. Now, I've been fortunate enough to go around the world, including to some really hostile and difficult countries, the fragile and conflict-affected countries. And I'll tell you a bit more about that in a moment. But I'm convinced that had it not been for the encouragement of my parents, I might not have got very far at all. I'd probably have stayed at home. And because I feel this way sometimes, I tend to start the day with a prayer. And it often goes something a little bit like this. Dear God, I'm scared. And I'm not sure how things are going to go today. But I'm going to carry on anyway. But please, please, can you give me some signs of encouragement? And it's this idea of encouragement that I want to talk to you about today. Can I ask, what encourages you? It might be a person, a colleague, a parent, somebody that is at your side. Or it might be something that you do, a ritual or a practice. But just have a think about, what is it that encourages you? And thinking about encouragement, some of the things that my parents would say to us, not just me, but my brothers and sister, they'll say things like, hold your nerve and keep the faith. Be bold and give it a try. They would say, it might not be as bad as you think. And they said, you can always come home if you need to come home. And it's that kind of encouragement that makes a huge amount of difference. And it's this kind of encouragement that I believe makes the lights come on, makes the monsters disappear, and is something that we can turn on at any time in our lives, even when disaster strikes. And if I think about what's encouraged our family over the years, there's been a number of things. But there's been one thing that stands out, and that's one of my granddads. And Grandad was in the Second World War, and he served as part of Wingate's Chinders. And Grandad was reported missing in action, and he was last seen trying to swim the river Irrawaddy in Burma. So his family were told that he was missing, presumed dead. Now, as it happened, he'd been captured and he spent several years in the notorious Rangoon jail in Burma. Miraculously, he survived. He was one of the few to survive, and he was released at the end of the war. But then when we asked him about it afterwards, we said, "Grandad, what was it? What was it that kept you going? Obviously the most disastrous of circumstances. What was it, Grandad, that kept you going?" And there's something that stood out. He had a silk map that was secretly sewn into his hat. And he managed to hang on to this hat for the entire duration of captivity. And he knew that if there was any chance of him being able to escape, he would be okay, because he had this map in his hat and he knew he'd be able to find his way. It makes me realise just how important it is that we have something to encourage us. I don't underestimate the impact of that map in keeping Grandad alive. So I ask you, what is your map of encouragement? And if we track forward a few years, a couple of generations, my dad encouraged me to join, lead and internationalise our family business. And over 25 years, we worked around the world in the most difficult environments, as I said earlier on, tackling some of the most complex issues of our time, things like corruption, war crimes, dementia, addiction, terrorism, often in the world's disaster zones. Encouragement matters because it's in the encouragement that we get our courage. And it's the courage that allows us to step forward and break the patterns of procrastination, fear and self-doubt. The best thing about encouragement is that we can all do it. It's nothing fancy, it's nothing high-tech, it doesn't cost us anything, never grows old. We can take it anywhere with us. And so, if we're going to realise just how much encouragement matters, I just want to share a traffic light signal with you. And this is, again, really easy stuff. We've got red for stop, amber for getting ready, and green for accelerating and go. We all know how those traffic lights work. So this is a traffic light system for how we can encourage ourselves and other people around us. So step one, we've got a red traffic light. This is all about stopping. Take the time to stop. Stop and think about what is going to light you up. And stop and then take note of the encouragements along the way on that journey. So when you leave here today, take the time to actually think and note down, what is it that lights us up? What is it that is going to give you the goosebump moments. What is it that makes you feel alive? And then start to note the encouragements along the way. And if you're not quite sure what you're looking for in terms of encouragements, it's things like thank yous, it's pieces of good news, it's prayers that have been answered. So keep a lookout for those. And my dad in his office used to have something called a victories folder. And I've now got the same. Every time you've had a victory, you can note those encouragements, put it in your folder, and then the next time that disaster strikes, get out the folder and remind yourself that you're a victor and not a victim. So that's stop with our red light. Moving on to amber and getting ready. And preparation is encouragement in its own right. And the best way to be prepared is to look at where there's potential. Potential is where there's scope to grow. So is the potential physically, intellectually, emotionally, socially? Wherever there's scope, there's potential to grow. That is where we can be prepared. So in that, I encourage you to look out for where we can be most prepared. And then we're ready to accelerate. We're off. We're going. The green light's turned, and it's time to be an encourager. The best way to encourage ourselves is to encourage other people. And if you want to be an encourager, start encouraging today. So now that we know what encouragement is, and hopefully have a greater appreciation of the value and the power of encouragement, how can we actually include that within our lives? How can we engineer it into every fabric of our lifestyles? Encouragement is in the way that we think, it's in the way that we live, it's in the way that we speak, and it's in the way that we act. And each of these has the potential to deliver us more moments that light us up. Life is miraculous. It's beautiful, and it's short. So it's absolutely up to us to honour this with the time, the energies and the talents that we have, to shine that light, to get rid of the monsters and do the best that we possibly can in terms of getting that light ramped right up to green and maximum capacity. So, I'm going to leave you with this little challenge. Take this talk as your encouragement to become an encourager today. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. And let's turn the lights on, one encouragement at a time. Thank you.